Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. So from this session, we are going and next couple of sessions we are going to understand about JavaScript asynchronous. Okay, so going forward in this line, we are going to learn about the few two topics. One is a JavaScript set timeout, and another one is a JavaScript callback function. Okay, so let's get started. So the setTimeout method executes a block of code after the specific time. Okay, so let's understand it. The method executes the code only once. Okay, so let me save this file first. So I'll give the name setTimeout.js. This is my file name. Yeah, so this is my file name. Okay, let me write down how we are going to. This is the syntax function milliseconds. Okay, so this is a commonly used syntax for JavaScript set timeout. Okay, so there are the two parameters. One parameter is a function, which we can see over here. This is my one parameter. Another parameter is a millisecond. So function, what this parameter contains? A function contains a block of code, and millisecond, the time after the function is executed. Okay, so the set timeout method returns an interval ID, which is a positive integer number. Okay, so let's take an example of this. So this is my example where I have one function called greet. Okay, I have set the set timeout using a set timeout. Okay, function name, the first parameter function name I have given. These are the things. So what it will be going to do, it will execute and give me a result. Execute this function after 3 seconds, because this is 3000 millisecond. Okay, which we convert in seconds would be a 3 second. So let's run it. So node, my file name. Okay, so I have run it. Now you can see this is the message shown first, and it's taking a time, and after that it will display hello world. Okay, so this is how it's going to be work. Okay, after 3 seconds it will display it, and it will execute only once. So in this program, the set methods call the greet function after 3000 millisecond, or you would say a 3 seconds. Okay, so there's a note which you need to remember. The set timeout method is useful when you want to execute a block of once after some time. For example, showing a message to a user after the specific time. Okay, so this is how you're going to do that. So let's take in the same way. So I'll write down over here. Okay, let me change into that, and I say let interval id equal to, which we have talked about. Okay, and also I write down console dot log, and inside that I'm going to write id. Okay, and I would say interval id. Okay, so now if I'm going to run it again, this function, so you can see the id is 4, so this is a positive number has been given. Okay, right? Okay, now let's take another example. Okay, but that example I'm not going to run it, because I'll tell you the reason is. Okay, so uh, display time, let me give the name display time.js. Okay, this is, now let's take an example. So this is my example. You can see this is a function which I have named as a show time. In this, what I am doing, I'm getting a date. Okay, new, using a new date. Okay, then let time, this is my time. Okay, set time, I have set the set time out, show time. 3000. So I'm using this function, calling this function inside this function itself, and I'm calling at the end, I'm going to show time. So what it will run, let's run it. But in this case, I'll get the output, but this program will execute in every 3 seconds. And however, this program, since the function is calling itself, the program display the every time, and it will consume your entire memory. Okay, let me run this. So not this would be the name of display. Now you can see that time is coming after every 3 seconds. You can see 30, 33, 36, 39. The next would be 39. Okay, so I have just terminated this program. Okay, but if you see, there's a one point you need to remember. If you need to execute a function multiple times, it's better to use a set interval method, not a set timeout. So remember this. Okay, now there's another method which is called clear timeout. So as you have seen in these examples, the program executes a block of code after the specific time period. If you want to stop this function call, you can use the clear timeout method. Okay, so let me create another example. Say, let me save it, clear timeout.js. Okay, syntax would be clear time out, and inside that interval id. Okay, this is how you can use it. So here the interval id is the return value of the set timeout method. Let's take an example of this. So now you can see this is a simple program, okay, in which I have a function called increase count, which we are simply increasing a count. Okay, let id equal to set time increase count 3000, clear timeout id console.log. This is where I'm using it, and over here what I'm doing, I'm clearing it out. So let's run this program and we'll see the results. So okay, this is a clear, okay, node clear timeout. I have run it. Now you can see set time is stopped. Why is it stopped? Because we have clear timeout. For this clear timeout, the parameter is required is the interval id, and this is how we can get the interval id. Okay, so this is my interval id, and I can use it in this way. Okay, so in this program, set timeout method is used to increase the value of count after 3 seconds. However, the clear timeout method stop the function call of the set timeout method. Hence, the count value is not increased. Okay, so you generally use the clear timeout method when you need to cancel the set timeout method call before it happens. So remember this part, right? I'll explain it again. Generally, we use the clear timeout method when we need to cancel the set timeout method call before it happen. Okay, remember this part. Okay, even though you can also pass additional arguments to the set timeout method. Okay, let me write down the math syntax in the another file and give the name of additional param set timeout. Timeout, yes. Okay, so let me write down the syntax if you require to pass additional parameters. So in this case, this is my function. Second is millisecond seconds. The next is param1, then so on param n. Okay, this is how. Okay, so when you pass additional parameter to the set timeout method, these parameters param1, param2, and so on will be passed to the specific function. Okay, so how is going to work it? So let's see the example. So this is the example. You can see the first function name, last name, but over here I have given this. So when we are going to execute the function, greet function, it will pass it the John Doe, the name and the last name inside this. Okay, so let's run it and we'll see. Okay, so it's not coming out, so I have to. Okay, so now you can see hello John Doe. Okay, so this is how we can use the additional parameters. Okay, now let's talk the another topic. Okay, which we are going to cover in the session is a callback function. So if you like, so far if you like this video, please hit the like button, and for our channel motivation, subscribe and share and follow. And if you still not subscribe our like bell icon, then please hit the bell icon so you can get all the notifications. Okay, so let's move ahead, and we'll see the JavaScript callback function. Okay, so what is a callback function? First we need to understand. Okay, so a function is a block of code that performs a certain task when called. Okay, how? Let's see the example. Let me create another file which I give a callback function.js. Okay, and for that, let me write down this piece of code. Okay, this is my piece of code which is basically going to use inside that. Okay, now you can see that this is my function greet, and I'm calling greet function with the name of, right, so it will pass it the value as a hi Peter, it will show me. Okay, so in JavaScript you can also pass a function as an argument to a function. Remember this line: you can also pass a function as an argument to a function. This function that is passed as an argument inside of another function is called a callback function. Okay, so let's see. Let's take an example. So let me remove this because this is, we have already seen in our previous sessions where we have seen the function, how the functions work. So let me, okay. So now this is my function name. This is callback, another parameter. Okay, this is a console, the callback function which is I'm going to call it. Okay, now this is my callback function. Okay, call me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is over here, see, this is what I am written. I am callback function, and over here the greet function. So now I am passing two parameters, Peter and the callback function. So let's run it. Let me save this first. Okay, so saved it. Now let's clear our terminal, node, callback. Now we have done it. So you can say hi Peter, I am callback function. Okay, so what has been done, when I pass it, so it will pass the first argument and the callback as a callback function over here. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so it's calling this particular function. Okay, so this is how we are using it, the function call. Okay, so now understand the benefit of callback function, why it's, it's so beneficial. So the benefit of using a callback function is that you can wait for the result of previous function call and then execute another function call. Okay, so it's like, unless and until you have, like in setTimeOut, you have seen that we have, we we have given instruction that after a specific period of time my statement will be executed by using a set timeout. Over here, what is the use of callback function? That unless and until I can wait for the result of my previous function call, okay, and then I execute another function. So we are going to use the set timeout method to mimic the program that takes time to execute, such as a data coming from the server. Okay, so let me create file another, and I'm going to save this as a mimic set timeout function.js. Okay, so let's say this is my program. Yeah, you can see this is my program. Say these are two program, greet, say name. Okay, this is the function which is a no parameter. This is the function which we have a parameter. Now we are calling a set timeout using a greet. Okay, and we are doing the say name. Okay, so let's run it. Before that, I need to save it, and now node and writing this. So you can see hello to John, and it will take a pause of 2 seconds, and then it will print hello world. Okay, so this is how things are going to work. Okay, now as you know, the set timeout method execute a block of code after the specific time. Okay, here the greet function is called after 2000 millisecond, or you would say a 2 second. During this wait, the say name function, okay, is executed. That is why hello John is printed before the hello world. Okay, so the above code is executed asynchronously. Okay, the second function say name does not wait for the first function. Okay, greet to complete. This is how you, so this is how the JavaScript work in the asynchronous way. So it will not wait for the first function to complete. Okay, after that, so in that case, our callback function is beneficial when I say that, okay, unless I can wait for a results until the previous function is called. Okay, now let's take an example. The same example we'll understand through the callback function. So I'm saving this file. Okay, so how this is going to be works? This is my program. Okay, I have two functions, greet and say name and my function. Okay, this is my function. Now in the function I'm passing away name. This is basically my callback function. Okay, now if I run to same set timeout with the parameters, okay, in this I am passing the function also. Okay, this is my another parameter. So let's run it and we'll see the results. What would be my results? Callback function. Now you can see hello world, hello John. Okay, this is how it's running it. Okay, so in this program, the code is executed synchronously. The say name function is passed as an argument to the greet function. Okay, that we have seen over here, greet and the function. Okay, the set timeout method execute the greet. Okay, it will execute the greet because this is my function. Okay, execute the greet function only after 2 seconds. Remember that this is working in the same way like set timeout work. Okay, it will execute the greet function only after 2 seconds. Okay, however, the say name function waits for execution of the greet function. Okay, so that means first this will is execute, after that my function will be execute. Okay, so the say name will execute in that way. So this is how the call function works. Okay, so the callback function is helpful when you have to wait for a result that takes time. For example, the data coming from a server, because it takes time for data to arrive. Okay, so this is how uh, we can handle the asynchronous calls in JavaScript. Okay, I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.